Hey folks, Philip B-Man here. It's 1 week later since we counted the mites on the OAV indoor treatment, and now we're going to count the mites on the stickies for subsequent to the Apivar treatment. Theory being that the Apivar should knock down mites that the OAV missed, and we'll get some sense of the effectiveness of the OAV. So I'll just point out a couple of things. So here's our 8 hives. For some reason, one of the hives, the sticky is hanging out the front like a sad tongue. I'm not sure whether I didn't slide it in right. A little bit of a breeze caught it. There is lots of air moving around in here. Whether I screwed it up, I'll remind everyone that although it looks to you like there's just enough light to see in here, in fact it's pretty dark, and it's a kind of the smartphone is making it look easier. Sometimes I even look in the camera to see what I'm doing because it's pretty dark. So I might have just screwed that up, but we'll have to ignore the results from that sticky anyway. So now we're down to 7 hives in this trial, unfortunately. Okay, I'll pull those boards and then we'll go out and count them. And I'll also mention that I'm starting to see some early signs of these hives getting pretty hungry. So I think next week I'll have to start bottle feeding. So that's the next thing on the agenda. All right, let's get to work. Okay, so we're ready to start counting these things. Remember, here's our results for the hives that were positive on an alcohol wash for mites. We then did an OAV and knocked down mites and counted them. And now we're trying to see what proportion of the mites we did get. So for instance, on this K20 hive, which had a fairly large sample, about 100, 200, no, that would be, 300 bees, only 1 mite. So, and then we knocked down 19 mites with the OAV. The question stands, is that 19 all the mites that were in there, or only a small portion? So I'm gonna count as effectiveness when the remaining mites are significantly less by half. Maybe is probably right, because that would mean we got 2/3 of the mites the first time. Remember, there's no brood in these hives. Those mites are sitting there just ready to be plucked. So, and that's what this whole program has been trying to figure out. How do I get those mites? If this doesn't work, well, then we'll try other products. And we're probably running out of time for this year, but we'll see. Okay, and then we got to still fine tune dosage and all sorts of things. But this, I think we're getting to seeing that we could make this work. Okay, and those of you who follow my channel know that occasionally I throw up videos from my logic class. And so that's why I am careful to say in advance, I'm defining my hypothesis. I'm saying what I'm testing and the result I expect that would confirm. I don't want to sort of retroactively decide whether it was a good experiment or not. I want to have a clear idea what I'm testing, what the expected result is. Okay, with that being said, let's have a look at these sample boards. Okay, and you guys can count along with me. So this is K18. We got 16 mites the first time. So what do we got now? Well, I'm not seeing lots, that's for sure. That one sort of looks like one, but I think that's wax. I think that's a clean sticky board. Well, that's surprising. Okay. None. K19. That piled up sugar, by the way, when I talk about signs of the hives getting hungry, the fact that they're starting to dig that old, mangy, dried up sugar out of the combs is a sign that they're sort of sifting through the last of what they're sitting on. So that's a sign I got to get busy and get some feed on these girls. K19, also empty. Better find some lights, so you guys are gonna think I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't see a damn mite on there. That's K20. That's the one I was talking about with had 19 mites on the original board. That K19 had no mites either on the OAV treatment. So that's not as surprising as this one. Okay, well, K16. I originally had 9 mites under the OAV treatment, had 3 mites out of 200 in the wash. None. K16. K7. This is the one with the, and it's pretty easy to tell that this part wasn't fully exposed. I see no mites on what was under the hive. Looks like that's maybe, less than half. So we're going to put that as 0 with a great big question mark, because that's not necessarily reliable results. This is our K8, also getting hungry. There's a mite right there. And one there. One here. There's one there. Now I got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 on K8. That one was one of the higher counts before. So 31 dropped on the OAV, 4 dropped on the apivar. That's promising. This is the one that we've marked before as having some dysentery. I've been doing some thinking about how much fumagillin I should use if I was to put it in the bottle feeders. Fumagillin is a little bit complicated drug because it's not only the amount. Well, I wouldn't count on this hive doing as much good. Anyone recognize what that is? That's a queen. So I think whatever we know about K17 is it's out of production. I've never seen anything like that before. Huh. How the heck? So some of these screens that I have do have holes in them. I don't know if she went down there voluntarily, she went out of control, who knows? But, well, there's no point treating that hive with anything. It's a goner. I wonder if we could do an experiment to double it up. K17. So that one is the queen is dead. No mites. K12, last one. No mites. Well, for mites is for all of those samples is suspiciously low. At face value, we've got a real winner here. We're knocking down not huge numbers of mites. 32 out of 10,000 bees, is nowhere near 1%. But if then we've gone that hive down to having no detectable mites with a Apistan sticky board or Apivar treatment board, that's something. Now, the reason I say suspicious is because that Apivar is a treatment that has been known to have efficacy problems due to resistance. So the next thing to do is obviously to do some sort of, I don't trust a mite wash because the numbers of mites are so low that you're taking your chances whether you're getting mites, right? Like this, this hive here, 45 grams of bees, had 3 mites. That's about 300. About 15 grams of bees per 100. So, that's borderline whether you detect it or not. Like, my suspicion is that these two hives, the mite levels aren't that much different. It's whether you're getting lucky on catching the mites in the sample. And then we took 24 more mites out of that hive. So now we're really looking for needles in a haystack. So doing any sort of subsequent mite wash or something, I don't know whether we'll catch what we can conclude from that anyway. It might be that what I have to do is follow up on these hives a bit longer term. Anyway, I think, these low levels of mites, which is where you want them to be, we kicked them while they were down, and that's exactly what you want to do. I think there's hope here. Okay, so I'm interested in your feedback. What do you think the next? I got to confirm that I'm not just getting sampling bias by having Apivar resistant mites. Right? They won't drop if I can't kill them. So the next thing to do would be to try to do a sticky board test with a different product, I guess. I'm not sure what that would be. So there's how those hives are sitting right on the floor. I could put something else in the top. Yeah, that might be a fun thing to try. You put too many different products in these hives over too short a stand, probably gonna do more harm to the bees than good. But anyway, I got, I'm gonna call it a significant result. And then next thing to do is to start bottle feeding. That'll be, we've got a long weekend ahead of us here. Timmy and I are gonna go rip some music and maybe throw up a video of that a little bit. And then next week, I'm off university work for what everyone else calls spring break and I call work from home week. And that'll be bottle feeding time. I was kind of hoping I didn't have to do that this year, but seeing this crystal-y stuff on the sticky boards and seeing I've got at least a couple hives with dead bees piling on the front, that's, those are shots fired over the bow. If you let too many hives go like that, then it really starts to cut into your success rate. It's always the strongest ones that eat the most food. And then your heart just breaks when you open them in the spring and they're just packed with bees and they had starved out. So I've taken to at the first signs of that. I want to nip that in the bud. Okay. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a great day.